And welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen. This is your daily Rangers news channel, bringing you your team every day, guys. And the only way to make sure that you get your team every day is to hit that sub, ring the notification, set it to all, so that it always springs up with the reminder on your mobile device or on your computer when we go live, when we bring out a new video. And hit the like, guys. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. And you can find us in all of these different places. You can find us on Twitter at GRN1872, Glasgow Rangers Nation on Instagram, on Facebook, Glasgow Rangers Nation Official, and email us at glasgowrangersnation@gmail.com. And you can buy the pod a coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com/penguins tea, or just go to that and www.buymeacoffee.com and search for Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'll leave that contact information scrolling. Well, guys, obviously, as always, lots of news surrounding one of the biggest clubs in the world, Glasgow Rangers. Share issues, Ecuadorian midfielders, ex-players slagging off the SPL and Rangers, and such a lot to share with you. So let's get straight on with it, shall we? Well, it was announced yesterday that Rangers are issuing 3 million new shares at 25 pence each. This brings to a total now of shares issued this year to 14.7 million new shares in the club. Obviously, there's a lot of shares. As yet, there's no explanation as to why these shares are being offered. The present share issue of 7.7 million is expected to raise a further £750,000. That comes on top of obviously the previous share issue, which was designed to raise over £1 million. As yet, no word as to why these shares have been issued. People are speculating that it could be to raise money for further player acquisitions. Others are speculating that it could be to pay off the equity on loans. As yet, we await news from the board and from those in charge as to why these shares have been issued. No doubt in the coming few days, we should hopefully get a statement from the chairman or from someone higher up in the Glasgow Rangers organisation as to why we have issued another 7.7 million shares. Certainly interesting news indeed. Moving on, guys. So, latest transfer link is with a Ecuadorian midfielder called Jose Cifuentes. Cifuentes. That's probably the best I've pronounced his name all day. Been trying it all day. Jose Cifuentes currently plays for Los Angeles FC in the MLS. Now, he has actually previously been linked, it was 2019. He was linked with a move to Celtic, but that move never went down. Obviously, a lucky escape for Jose Cifuentes. Now, he is obviously getting an awful lot of interest now from Europe after some fine performances in the MLS and for his national team, Ecuador. John Thorrington, who is the general manager of LAFC, stated that if he's not the most talented midfielder in the MLS, he's certainly up there. Yeah, I think he has absolutely everything he needs to succeed. I'm not surprised to receive and hear of interest from high-level clubs in Europe. We, as I say, evaluate these opportunities on a case-by-case basis, and we will cross that bridge when the appropriate opportunity comes. Now, there is a long line of clubs apparently who are keen on Cifuentes' services, including clubs in the EPL. Obviously, this means that Rangers would have to act quickly and offer him a very good deal to get him to come to the club. Now, those clubs who are interested in him obviously are Glasgow Rangers, Leeds United, and SPL. Now, obviously, what is going in Rangers' favour there is the fact that obviously Leeds are threatened with relegation from the Premiership, and also the fact that Espanyol are not a top club in Spain. Rangers can obviously offer Cifuentes the opportunity to compete for trophies and compete, obviously, hopefully, in the Champions League next season. Now, he is one of the most talented Ecuadorian players of the moment. He's a 13-cap international and played twice for Ecuador at the Qatar World Cup. He has also won the MLS Cup with LAFC and has come on leaps and bounds in the last season. He is described as being incredibly talented. LAFC's head coach Steve Cherundolo spoke about Cifuentes and said, Sifu is an incredibly talented player. The sky's the limit for him. He's the complete player. Complete is the right word, obviously. He is one of the only two players in the LAFC squad who's averaged more successful tackles per game and has averaged, a good quantity of pass completion and pass accuracy. He is definitely a very talented player. He likes to tackle, he's aggressive in the tackle, and has intensity in his play. Certainly something that would aid him and abet him in Scottish football. He scored 8 goals and has 9 assists to his name throughout the 2022 campaign for LAFC. That's 17 goal contributions. He is clearly more than just a ball winner. Now, he is certainly someone who I think could come into the squad and could be a player to supplement Nicholas Raskin and Todd Cantwell, and would definitely thrive in the Old Firm games. Now, one interesting point about him is at this present moment in time, rumours have it that he is rumoured to have a price tag on his head of £15 million. However, Cifuentes is out of contract at the end of the season, which would mean he will be able to move on for nothing. Now, this would obviously make him attractive to Rangers. Now, the only issue is that the MLS season doesn't end till December 2023, so that he wouldn't actually be free until December. So that any agreement would have to be made as a pre-contract agreement, and then he wouldn't be able to join Rangers until the December, so would miss a large part of the start of the season. So obviously it would remain to be seen whether or not Rangers would be willing to pay money for him, or would want to wait until December to get him if he is willing to come to the club. It is to be hoped, obviously, that someone of his talent would want to come to the club, given what Rangers can offer him: the chance to play for the most successful team in football, the chance to play for a team that can compete for trophies every season, the chance to play in the Champions League, which is something the other clubs who are after him cannot offer him. But Rangers would have to wait until December if they wanted to get him on a free transfer. He is certainly someone, though, I think that Rangers should take some time over and some consideration over, given the talent and the ability this young man has. Now, another player in MLS has been talking about his time in Scotland and his time with Glasgow Rangers, and that is former Rangers player James Sands. Now, remember, Sands came here on loan from New York City, and was a bit of a letdown, wasn't he, really, after all? Now, Sands has been saying that the SPL is a weaker standard of competition than the MLS, and the MLS offers him a better competition level than the Scottish Premier League. Now, James Sands, I ask you one thing. Which MLS team would beat Rangers and Celtic? I honestly can't see that happening. You play Rangers and Celtic in the MLS, they're going to win it every single season. So I think you're speaking rubbish, mate. I think there might be a slight sense of bitterness in what you've got to say there. And the fact that you couldn't really cope in the SPL and you weren't really good enough. So I really do take with a pinch of salt what James Sands has had to say about the SPL being a lesser standard of competition than the MLS. I would dare to suggest that MLS teams would struggle to finish in the top 4 in the SPL, and the SPL teams would be more successful in the MLS. So I think, like I said, we take James Sands' comments with a little pinch of salt. Well, guys, that's the latest news today as regards Rangers, some of the key stories coming out of the club. Just a reminder that we did a podcast, or I did a podcast last night with Jack Hamilton from the Every Saturday We Follow podcast. Check it out. Go back and check it out. That's the thumbnail you need to look for. And also give my good buddy Jack, who runs the Every Other Saturday podcast, a sub on Facebook, on YouTube. That'd be fantastic if you could support him as well. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. I will be back to speak to you soon on the channel that brings you daily Rangers news, your team every day.